Welcome to another episode of Random But Relevant, presented by My Block TV. I'm your host, Oswald Williams. We got a special co-host today, Mr. Mario Paredes. Thank you for joining us, brother.
Thank you for having me.
Appreciate it. I'm not a big algorithm guy, but I am, this is episode 8, and I am seeing a little spike as of now, March 28, 2019. So we want to thank everybody for tuning in on your own pace. We're not, big on algorithms, but we do appreciate you guys tuning in. And we're gonna try to keep it, as consistent as possible. The funniest thing about the new theme music, that was by Rene Valdivia. He's also our technical director. And the funniest thing about that is it's so hard to get him to release music when I want to do a short film, and it's just so odd that he brought it in today. So I'm thankful. Thank you, Rene.
I think he's part of that track. That's
yeah,
why.
I know, right?
Like a true artist, I think, he's probably. I'm gonna give you a shout out, Rene. I think he's working on the music, but it's not up to the standard. He doesn't want to put out crap. Mm-hmm. He busted this one out. It came out good. So he's like, hey, there you go.
Okay, fair enough. I appreciate that. How you been, man?
I've been good. I can't complain. Everything's going well.
I know you got some Miami roots. How you adapted to the winter?
I actually was born in the Bronx. I used to come during the summer, so I really didn't get much winter time over here, but I guess it was in my blood. Mm-hmm. I really never adapted to the summers in Miami. I mean, from July, August, end of June, it gets super humid. So, I mean, you got like 90-degree weather straight up with 90% humidity. Mm-hmm. And that's just a recipe for sweaty everything, man.
Yeah. But I know it's the fun time. I know you got some good stories, Miami stories.
Oh yeah, growing up there, it's definitely a young man's town, a young person's town. During college, my job was working at a boutique hotel in South Beach. It's still around. It's called the Betsy. Back then it was just Betsy Ross Hotel.
So you had your fair share of spring breaks.
Oh yeah.
Oh man.
Spring breaks, Memorial Day weekends, everything. My shift from 4 to midnight to 6 a.m. was party time, and then if I was feeling a little bit more, saucy, go up to the after hours to 2 p.m. the next day.
Oh man, Miami. I've never been to Florida before, ever. But when I go, trust me, I've heard stories about the W. I've heard stories about the beach and the party life. So when I go, I'm gonna make sure I do it right.
Yeah, I see the way it's going down now, and like a lot of things, it's different from 10 years ago, or even like maybe 15 years ago when I was growing up, growing up over there, you, in high school, I was still like going out and partying and stuff like that. But now, I see like things like in the Fountain Blue and in Scent nightclub, and then all I see is the fights and fights and fights. Yeah. Back then, everybody was taking
too much fun.
Right back then, everybody's more let me take some ecstasy. Let me take. I'm not that I'm condoning that, but it was more of like a neo hippie kind of thing. It was just like let me go out, have party, have fun, find a random one night kind of thing. And now it's just like let me flex, put on my ice, put on my stuff, then somebody looks at me wrong, we're gonna go at it.
So you seen your fair share of celebrities then?
Oh yeah, I've seen some celebrities always around the beach. I've seen Steven Tyler, I've seen Shawn Wayans, Mike Tyson actually stayed in the hotel when I was working there.
I heard Mike is real approachable. Is that true?
Nice guy, walked around with a smile on his face, very humble.
That's always a good thing.
Yeah, he's has his up and downs, but he's always been a cool guy. And also, the boxing realm, the owner of the hotel is very good friends with Roberto Duran.
The legend.
Yeah, and humble as can be, man. And always,
that's always a good thing when you don't lose your.
Yeah, comes in and says hi, talks to you, and it's not like a thing where you can see if somebody's putting up a front. It's his actual personality, and that's pretty dope.
That's dope when you can stay grounded like that. We was gonna open up the show. Like right now, is a great time for football. I've never for the NFL in particular, and obviously NCAA basketball, but the NFL, I've never seen this much excitement in free agency times before the draft. A lot of good stuff are happening. The Jets made a power move. A lot of teams, they have young quarterbacks, and the bar's kind of been set. If you have a quarterback and he's in his second year, you see people start investing in because a quarterback has a 5-year contract where he's not allowed to make but so much money. So now the bar is once you got your guy, you dump money into getting him help.
So now, like with this year, the free agencies and stuff like that, all the young bucks coming up from colleges, was it like a little bit more now because they're already seniors, they put in their time, so like every 4 years or so, that's when you get the crop of the people.
Oh, it's good question because right now, it's usually offensive players, but this draft in particular, you have a couple standout offensive players. But right now, if you're a football team and you needed a defensive player like a pass rusher, someone that could defend, this is the time. It's about maybe 40 blue chippers out there that can change your franchise. So there's a lot of teams like the Jets. They have almost $100 million to spend in actual money this year, and they have high draft picks, and they have a star quarterback. As a Buffalo fan, it sucks, but as an overall football fan, I see the direction they're going, and it's looking good for New York again. So that's positive. Shout out to the Jets. Also, I hear you a big UFC guy.
I like any combat sports. UFC, is the biggest mixed martial arts organization in the Eastern Hemisphere. The second, now number 2, I guess you could say, is Bellator, but that organization might be put down number 3 because the biggest organization in the West won championship. They're making some big power moves now here in the East. They're doing an Eastern push. They actually one of the pound for pound best fighters, Demetrius Johnson, 12-time UFC flyweight champion. Broke out, said piece of UFC, went to 1. So
UFC got to share some of that light now.
They're got to make some power moves, which they are. So they finished their deal with Fox. Now they're on ESPN.
Oh yeah, I just it's fair to say UFC is literally blown boxing out of the water right now.
Yeah, I mean boxing still has its hardcore fans and stuff like that. The problem with boxing has been the different promoters, different promotions, and some of the boxers have too much say. So if you're number 1, I'm number 2, I want my shot, but you're like, I'm not fighting him, I'm not losing that spot. I'm gonna fight number 4, number 5.
Yeah, to get this money, and I think that hurt boxing a little bit too, because once upon a time you knew it was impossible to not to know who was the heavyweight. Yeah, it was impossible to know who was. Now it's all about the welterweight. It seems like the only big prize fight or TV fight is the welterweight, and I grew up on heavyweights.
Yeah, I mean heavyweights was the thing, from Tyson, anywhere from beyond, heavyweight is like, let's see these big boys, just thunder it out.
It's new now, but I think Mayweather changed the game to know. I don't think it's coming back. I think the more as the year go, I think it's going to be all about UFC. MMA.
I think mixed martial arts is definitely going to take a big share of the combat sports pie, but there's really room for both. I mean, they are really two different sports, 2 different things. You can have apple pie and cherry pie. They're just because there are combat sports, they do share that kind of thing. They are 2 different things entirely.
What did you feel about? How did you feel when Conor fought Mayweather? Did you think it was just a big hype, or did you actually? Was it good for both sports to you? Or?
It was good for both sports because people who are really into boxing, they know the name Money Mayweather, so they'll be like, okay, let me see what's up with the boxing stuff. Same thing with people who really don't know anything about UFC or mixed martial arts in general. They'll hear, who's this Conor McGregor guy? They'll go on YouTube his fights and they're like, whoa, this dude is a savage. All right, this could be fun. And it was like one of boxing's biggest pay-per-views in God knows how long. Probably since I think it's not the same as when he fought Pacquiao, but very close to it.
And then for a guy, it was pretty much an exhibition of a guy with no 0-0 boxing record.
Yeah.
I was impressed with that. I'm not really big on UFC. I know about some of the bigger fights, but to act like I know about it, like I know basketball or football. But when I Googled McGregor, the first thing I saw some good fights, but I was like, this is a marketable dude. This dude, he deserves to be the face.
Yeah, so I mean, that's the thing with him, that not only that he's a good fighter, he's a really good trash talker, and he can back it up.
Yeah.
So, you know, you could tell, like, marketing-wise, he's a very good marketer. Like, I don't know if he ever took, like, a marketing class or anything like that, but
he sold me.
He knows how to market himself. He knows how to market his thing. I don't know if he ever grew up, like, watching, like, all the WWF stuff, but he knows how to cut a promo,
He did a great job, because I was thinking to myself, as a person that's into boxing, I was like, in my head, I'm thinking there's no way he can even compete. But the way he was talking, I was like, yo, he might catch Floyd with a hook and be the one to knock Floyd out. But it didn't happen like that. But it was still, I didn't think it.
But it brought the faces, and and it brought the buys, and you know, if it didn't go to expectations people wanted, but you went there and you bought the buy, you bought the ticket, you bought the pay-per-view. So he did his job. He marketed it. So I mean, it's just. You know, with the way people talk and everything, you know, like one of the things people always say, oh, remember when Tyson, you know, said, I'm going to eat your babies, you know, that's just like, you know, that was the thing. So, I mean, that's the thing, you know, it's all a marketing thing, you know.
Definitely. How do you feel about, where do you, in the next maybe 5 years, where do you see, do you think they're going to hit a cap, they're going to hit their ceiling, or you just see it getting, what technology, you just see it keep going, as far as UFC, MMA?
It's definitely going to keep going. There's now, you know, you would say from when UFC first came out, then Fertitas and Dana White bought it out, where it's grown from, you know. You see, like, the old ring stuff, their main sponsors was Mickey's. I mean,
and it was an energy drink, too, right?
Yeah, Mickey's.
He said Mickey.
That's what now you see, you know, Bud Light and stuff like that, you know, then going from Spike TV to Fox and now into ESPN, you know, they're definitely growing. And now surrounding that, anywhere you go, you're going to find a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu gym. Definitely. You're going to find boxing gyms and stuff like that. So in that, you're going to have more people up and coming, you know.
If I'm not mistaken, there's a big UFC gym on Connie Courthouse Road. Like a big gym.
Yeah. There's a big one on the one I used to go to when I lived on Long Island. There was one in Long Island. There's one in Astoria, which is a smaller one, but they're pretty good. There's one in White Plains. There's a few in Manhattan. So it's a great workout. You know.
The interesting thing about that, not to cut you, but I actually did when I was in college, I did like a special on a boxing trainer, and the thing that blew my mind was like they had the gym broken down into 3 areas, and a lot of times before you even get into ring to start sparring, you got to show that you can do over 1,000 sit-ups. He had them running so much. I was like, man, I thought you just go straight into the ring, but the conditioning is a lot of that is just about legs, right?
Yeah, it's a lot of conditioning, especially in boxing. It's a little bit more, you know, with the head movements and stuff like that. Mixed martial arts is it's a little bit. You really don't go so much into one thing. If you're a one-dimensional fighter, you know, that's not going to cut it anymore. Because wrestlers, if you're a pure striker and a wrestler could come with a quick takedown, take you down, and then
you're over. It's an even playing field once you're on the
floor. You saw that when James Toney was talking a lot of shit, and
that was a couple years ago.
Yeah,
right?
That was a few years. Then Randy Couture, he's like, oh, I used a heel grab that I haven't used since college because he had nothing on as a ground game. So when you're not used to that and you're having like somebody on top of you for like 5-minute rounds, you know, at least 3 5-minute rounds, and you're not used to that weight on top of you, man, your conditioning is going to go straight down.
It's funny because I was looking at a YouTube video, top 10 trash talking gone wrong, and it was all UFC. And I seen this little kid. He had this big guy in a hole. His face was down on the ground, and he had his arm like, if you don't tap out, I'm just gonna pop this. I was like, wow. I was like, yeah, I can't do that. But
yeah, I mean, it's funny. I mean, every sport has trash talk, but you know, it's super embarrassing
Yeah.
if you get murked in a cage or in the ring.
Real consequences.
You know, if you're like, you know, a basketball player that talks smack, it's probably not that bad if your team loses, unless you talk smack against LeBron and then he does like a highlight dunk
on you or
and then his
something,
nuts are right in your face, and that's a poster everybody remembers. And, you know, and that's a LeBron poster that everybody has up on the wall, and you're the guy in the receiving end. It's that type of embarrassment.
Yeah, it's real. Speaking, a good segue for me was I just seen today is Thursday, March 28th, 2019. I just seen yesterday on the news that this AOC proposal got destroyed in Congress yesterday. Like what it was 47, she didn't get not one vote.
Yeah, I didn't see the actual vote, you know, what was going on with the thing. The Green New Deal proposal, I really haven't read, you know, word for word exactly what was supposed to go on with it. I think, you know, it's a little bit too much too fast.
Yeah.
And, you know, if nobody really voted for it, okay, there's got to be a reason why.
Yeah.
You know, it's not that the sentiment, it's not there, you know, people don't think, you know, what it's supposed to do is wrong, but the way you're going about it probably is the wrong way.
I read an article by Matthew Frankel, and he was just breaking her whole plan down as far as the different tax brackets. First and foremost, what I want to say is I'm super offended that the way he wrote this article is like, don't worry, it's not going to affect most Americans. And it made me feel like, so you think most Americans don't have aspirations of being millionaires one day? I was extremely offended by that. But anyway, there's one part I want to talk to you about. She's proposing that, you know, that she wants a 70% tax bracket for people making income over 10 million. And the first thing that came to my mind was a lot of these big corporations, which is the real problem, they already have their money overseas. Yeah. So it seems like to me she's blatantly attacking new money.
Yeah, I don't know exactly how that 10 million, I think it's supposed to be like after the 10 million, on the 11th million and over, that's supposed to be what's supposed to be over 70%. And again, I could see maybe why you would want, there's like countries that do have that, but their system was already built like that. You really can't flip a whole economy on its head afterwards, you know. And, you know, maybe there was some form of that back in our government back in the day, and it shifted away from that. But just because it shifted away, you know, maybe for the better, for the worse, who knows. But you really can't say, you know, from one year to another, this is happening again. You're going to throw everybody's, you know, financial statements into a tizzy.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of us saw that, you know, this year with regular tax changes that the GOP did. You know, from one year to another, you know, we were getting, over here in New York State, we were getting a little bit more of a refund, you know, and this year I actually had to pay back because
ridiculous.
Because of, you know, the plans that they made. You know, it's just when you do a shift in any kind of way like that, it's you know, devastating. You know, not everybody has, you know, savings or anything like that, which, you know, you should, you know, whatever, but, you know, if you don't have that, you know, then you got to figure out, okay, am I going to have to pay this now, or am I going to get something to eat?
It's ridiculous. Random but Relevant, presented by My Block TV. I'm your host, Oswald Williams. I'm guest host, Mario Paredes. Another thing, I'm getting offended. This is probably going to be the last time. For the first couple episodes, we try to really make politics easy for younger kids and things like that. But I'm at a point now where I'm getting kind of frustrated with the whole thing, because I'm tired of, you know, these candidates doing things that are so, like, to be honest with you, corny. It's not even connecting with the people they call their voters. And I'm getting tired of it. I'm tired of candidates acting like they're, you know, relatable and they're like lower income, middle class. Yeah. When they're making just as much money as the people they're trying to attack. So it's just like a lot of stuff I'm not really feeling with the party right now. We're going to talk about it a little bit more when we come back. We're still on politics. Random but Relevant, presented by My Block TV. We'll be right back.